Trent, thank you so much for jumping on with me.
Okay.
We've recently gone through the Data Storytelling Success Program, yourself and your team. So I'm keen to hear about your experience. Was the training as you expected? And what is some of the feedback that you've gotten from the team?
Look, it was really good. The training was better than expected. And when I say that, sometimes you do a lot of training where you kind of know what you know, and then you go into a training session and they remind you that you know that. But it actually went a little bit further than that. There was some of the concepts that we went through with you, Kate, where you got us to put up our work, and then you started to talk us through how to pull it apart without critiquing the information or critiquing the individual, but just talking through how to make the product a better presentation, and then having the other team members chime in and offer their little bit as well. I think that part of the training was the biggest thing that we got out of it. You did tell us a lot of what we already knew, but you told us in a way that it made more sense, and it just reiterated why we have to do those things, like keeping our presentations really concise, thinking about our audience. The one for me is where you said not only think about who you're presenting to, but do that almost like that storyline of that process. And I'm sorry, I don't have it with me, but that little book that you gave us, where you had that flow chart of go through these steps. I knew half of them, but to have them there and be reminded, and that was great. It was really good. It was exactly what I needed. And I know a lot of the team took that away as well. It was really simple to take on, made a lot of sense.
Oh, amazing. And what did you think about the initial workshop? Because we did a program with you. Well, the program is workshop and then the follow-up momentum sessions. So you and I spent some time at the momentums. The initial workshop, you had Thomas for that one.
Yeah, the initial workshop was really good. Everyone got a lot out of that. Thomas was really nice to have him come in. It was one of those things, it's been a long time since we've gotten a lot of people back into meeting rooms, but it was that face-to-face session which was really beneficial. He talked through what we wanted to get out of it, and then through the whole process. So that initial kickoff was really good. The online sessions that we did afterwards, they were also really good because it gave us an opportunity to plan and come back to the session with our presentations. So I think the mix was really good, but having the option to do that was brilliant. It was exactly what we needed.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that format and see if we can do some more in-person stuff next time.
Yeah. I think it does depend on the crowd. Some people love the online stuff, and others need to have that face-to-face. I think when you have the option to mix it up, it just makes it easy to make sure that people are getting the most out of it.
Yeah, for sure. And have you seen any changes in your team yet?
Yeah, we have. We've had a particular presentation that was being done at a fairly high level from our division, and I noticed that there was a group of attendees who actually reached out to create another little mini group to actually review that presentation before it went up. And it was all those same people who wanted to do that same thing and put it up. No critique of the individual or the content, but actually make the presentation a better presentation. And it was just really interesting hearing them have a chat about it beforehand and then setting that up and going through that process. And it's something that they would not have done previously. So that was really good. And they got funny, they were quite excited by
it. Because they've got a new technique on how to interact as well.
Yeah, I think historically people do presentations, they put their heart and soul into it. So when you put it up and someone starts to pull it apart a little bit, traditionally people get a bit, I don't know, they feel like they're critiquing the work. Whereas I think actually going through that process that you took us through, it became more about just making sure the presentation was the best that it can be for the right audience. So it was almost, you drop all those personal things and you're just there to help that person do a good job. And I noticed that when this group were getting together, the girls are sitting having lunch, and then they asked me and they asked someone else, can you come along because this is what we want to do? And it was just the same session that we'd had with Hubert. It was just them leading it, which was really good.
Yeah, great. Oh, that's exciting to hear. That's cool.
Yeah. So it was really positive. I haven't seen the outcome. They're still working on it. But it was definitely a good start.
Yeah, nice. And any other final comments before we wrap?
Look, to be honest, nothing comes to mind. I'd love to just thank you and Thomas for your approach. It was really nice. You're both lovely to work with. Having Thomas coming to that face to face was really nice, and then seeing you each time, just really keen to help us take on those learnings and help us with our work. It was lovely. It was really nice to have you on board for that short period of time. And I have started talking internally, because I'd love, as we discussed, to make it an annual thing. I'd love for us to do it more and start to build on it over time.
Oh, amazing. And you guys were a great group to work with too. So thank you also. It's always nice to have good people working together, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Trent. Really appreciate you jumping on with me and sharing your very positive thoughts. It's really, really nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.